What up guys, I have a video here that I have been wanting to do for a long time, and that has to do with this and those. I get a lot of questions on this mod. Does it take up all the visibility? Can you really see with those traction boards on your hood? How does it mount? Well, I'm gonna answer all those questions. I used to rock this all the time on the 4Runner, took it off for a little while, and I just got a new one. So I'm going to show you some secrets that I learned with the install, how to get it nice and tight on there, and just some little things you can do right from the beginning that's going to save you a little bit of trouble later on. So again, this is one of my favorite, one of the coolest mods. It grabs a lot of attention. No matter if you have this on your truck, no matter where you go, everybody's going to ask, what is this? What are those? Whatnot. My biggest thing for it is, you see my garage? Yeah, I can't put anything on my roof rack, which usually I would put traction boards and a bunch of shit on there. I want to keep my truck in the garage. My parking's all jacked up. I don't want to park this thing on the street. I found alternative ways to basically put my recovery gear in the truck with the MOLLE panels and kind of use up other places on the truck for my recovery gear. So one big one is the hood. And it's just like this Ecotechne rack, but it's for the hood. So I got some new traction boards. These orange ones here are a little jacked up. Who knows, I might throw them back on just for fun, because why not rock orange one week, rock black the next week. But these traction boards are sick. They're super good quality. I mean, you could just feel it. They're strong. They've got the high lift jack center. So I'll be going over these. Maybe we'll even do like a little test. Yeah, we're gonna do a bunch of shit. So if you take a look here, these are for the traction boards. This is what holds them onto the hood. If you got the right boards. That's another question that gives, how do you mount them? What traction boards can you mount to them? And I don't even think these ones are gonna actually fit it. So what we're gonna do is probably drill some new holes, and there's a couple ways to mount this thing. You can use the bolts, or you can use some trusty zip ties. That is what I did before. It wasn't a problem. I always kept zip ties on me anyway, so if I needed them, I just cut them. So this is the hood rack all broken down. And if you are like me and you hate reading instructions, watch this video, throw those away, and let's get this thing installed. Now, one of my first things that I recommend doing is where this is going to be mounted on your hood. That's right here on the edge is going to be going right on your paint. Now, Ecotechne sends out these little guards, these little plastic guards things. I don't like them. They fall off, and after having it on, I mean, honestly, I just kept losing them over time, and I don't want that metal on my hood scratching up my stuff. I have a solution, and it's super simple. This is the door guard stuff that I already have all over my truck. I have a bunch more of it just in case. So I'm gonna cut these up to those size, and that is what's gonna go on this metal part right here. Now when putting these on, I take off the metal ends like that, just because I don't like them exposed. I've had them exposed before and they get a little rusty. Now you don't have to do what I'm doing right now, but I think a little bit of a bigger piece right here just helps it hold it in place that much better than this little rubber piece. Now you can still use these. If you want to skip the step, skip the step. It's just something that I learned over the years was to upgrade that little piece. It was driving me crazy, so it's up to you. So next, you're gonna get your traction boards. You're gonna grab these pieces. Grab one of the bars. You're going to see about 3 mounting holes. Judging on how big your traction boards are, you're gonna just line them up to where you're gonna wanna mount them. So I set mine on the furthest holes, and I grab the board, and I just make sure that it fits. Depending on how you're deciding to mount these and what boards are gonna fit, I'm pretty sure Max Tracks are the only boards that actually fit this thing. So any other board, you're gonna need some modifying. It's not very difficult. You just need to drill and just find out where you want to make the hole. If you want to use the hardware that they send, again, it kind of depends on the board that you're using. Personally, I think it's just easy to use zip ties. They hold, it's tight. You carry a knife on you anyway, so if you ever need it, pop them off, use them, throw them in the back of the truck, or if you have more zip ties, re-zip tie them. I'm not gonna really sweat it too much. And these bigger ones are for the boards with the butterfly nut. The Allen key ones are gonna be to actually put the bars on. And these, like the normal bolts, are gonna be for the mounts here. I think I'm gonna do it like that. So I'm gonna have a bolt here on this side. I'm gonna have this little bar part in the middle. So here it is. And I'm gonna put it like that. I'm gonna have a bolt on each side here. Because I'm gonna be drilling into the boards anyway, since they don't fit this thing. And I think that's how I'm gonna mount it. Now, a thing about 4-Wheel Drive Adventures is they're the only distributors of Ecotech products in the United States. So when everyone always asks me, where do you get those boards? I can't find them. Well, 4-Wheel Drive Adventures USA. I'm gonna leave a link in the description of their Instagram. Ecotech is actually in Venezuela, I'm pretty sure. I have to triple check that. I have them on. They're not tightened down, obviously, but that's how I'm gonna do mine. Like I said, with the metal in the middle, I'm just gonna go like that. So that's one arm down. We'll tighten it here in just a second. Grab the other side. Same exact thing. The big question I get is, how is the visibility with these boards? It's not bad. Does it affect it? A little bit. Now, if you're off-road, you're going up an obstacle, honestly, you can't really see very much. You know, once your nose goes up, you're pretty blinded. You're usually listening to your spotter. Half the time, I've got my head sticking out the window. So the visibility is affected a bit, but it doesn't really affect anything off-road. As far as obstacles and stuff, like, it takes a minute to get used to it. Once you do, it's like kind of like they're not there anymore. You know, you get used to it. So yes, it does, and it doesn't at the same time. So I got the other side mounted same way. Ratchet this all down, make sure it's nice and even. I'm going to show you where to drill the holes in the traction boards, and again, that's going to kind of change on the boards you're using. My last ones, they had holes right here and they had holes right here. So this one only has holes up here. So if I can't make it fit there, I'm gonna have to drill some holes like right in here. Measuring the boards, this is about where they're at. So just make sure you have a bolt on one side and a whole nother side. Don't have them both in the middle. Just want them on these weak points of the mount. Just have them both cut out, tighten those down, and we should be good. So here we go. Easiest way to do this, I just got my little ratchet wrench, and I'm just gonna kind of tighten these because they move all around. So I'm just gonna tighten them down. So they're not super tight right now. Get these things. So just like I was saying, one close to this metal piece and one right here. That's where it kind of lined up. I've got all the bolts tightened down on the arms. And I just put my traction board on top of the arm here just to make sure it lines up. And look at that, perfectly. It lines up with the edge of the board. So I'm gonna drill a hole right here and right here. With these specific boards, the angle, I don't know if the bolt will work. So I might just use some zip ties. I did it before, they hold tight, so I'm not really worried about it. All right, guys, so I have everything mounted except for the boards. I'm gonna wait to mount the traction boards on the bars themselves. I'm gonna wait to that to the end just because they get too heavy. Put this thing up on the truck, and now how I started off, grab any of the sides, make sure your hood is nice and up as much as it can be, and I actually just stick this in like that and kind of move it up. Just let it sit. Now you're gonna do the same thing for the other side. Just gonna get that in there. There we go. So I got both of the sides in. They're just kind of hanging on there. And now we will get the crossbars. Now to know which one is front and which one's back, the one that's in front will have this because the Ecotechne sticker actually sticks onto that. So 4Runner 2 is the front one. Make sure this side is just facing out. That's what I do. I just set them right on top. If you got the hood scoop, make sure this is positioned around it. And now that you have everything on here, you kind of move this down, line up the holes, and we're actually just put the bolts right in, tighten each side down one at a time. This is all manufactured and everything. Right before they send it, they powder coat it. So sometimes after the powder coating, what can happen is the bolts can have a little bit of an issue getting in. So what I just did is I took the bar off the hood and I just screwed this in all the way. It was a little tough, but got it in, got it out, and now it screws in fine. So just be aware, something like that you might run into. All right, so what I do is I just kind of put them in a little bit, just get the thread started. Let's move on to the other side. It is all tightened up. I upgraded my struts. These are Stibulus Liftomat. There you go. Now with the traction boards on there though, it won't stay up. It might stay up for a minute, but it will fall. Guarantee you that. So upgrade those struts to some really, really good ones that can handle the weight. There are some pros and cons to all this. And when you have these steel mounts here, everyone goes, how does that shut? Well, it does fit just barely in between right here. There are little scratches going on the edge of this right here. And that was actually just from, last time I had it on, taking it off, putting it back on. It just it does take its wear and tear, but it doesn't dent anything. It just kind of scratches the inseam. It's nothing you can really see. But it is one of those things that, I don't really like that very much. So let's see this thing with it down. And then just normal, down. Now, as you can see, it fits right into these, right into the edge there. It does have a very slight contact, like right inside there. It's nothing you can see. Just be careful when you're installing it. So let's get the traction boards on and see what she looks like. Oh, and don't forget the sticker. Let's go get that. And there you go. Zip tie time. Push this behind, so it kind of hides it. I'll cut that obviously. There you go. All zip tied down. Looks good. Just be careful when you're washing under here. I'm sure if you wanted to, you could kind of like push this out. I probably should have done that. There you go, like push it up underneath there so it's not hanging out so much. It's more hidden. Yeah, see now it kind of goes up in that hole. There we go, that one too. So just do that after you tighten them down. I tighten them down pretty snug, so it's nothing's like popping up on either side. Just push this. There we go. And yeah, they look good. You know, I mean, they don't really take up any room. So for me, I can't fit my garage. My truck barely fits in here. Take a look. The garage door goes on top of the roof rack. So I can't get anything on there if I want to keep parking in the garage. So this is a good solution. I've got my boards, and like I said, you know, this thing draws a bunch of attention. It's fun, it's different, it gives a bit of a unique look to the truck. So I like it. I think I'll keep it around this time. Now I don't think any boards really fit perfectly on this. So it's something you kind of have to customize yourself if you want to use the bolts. It all really depends on the board. So kind of see how big the board is and where the holes are at. Maybe you can use those bolts. I love the rack, love the look. Ready for a zombie apocalypse. All right guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.